All right, I think we're live. Hey everyone, welcome to Victorian Gaming. My name is Doug. Tonight we've got a special Halloween session of Bedlam Hill, or Bedlam Hall. Sorry, I said Bedlam Hill. I don't know why I said Bedlam Hill. Bedlam Hall, which is a Powered by the Apocalypse game, and it's put out by Monkeyfun. Is it just Monkeyfun Studios, Bryce?
Yeah, it's Monkeyfun Studios.
And there you go.
Cover book that you can get if you go to RPG DriveThruRPG. You can order this with a PDF for $25.
Nice, very cool, very cool. So I am not going to be in charge of this stream, so I am going to hand this over to Bryce Whitacre, the man in charge of Fearlight Games. But he is actually going to GM this game for us, and we're going to have a lot of fun. So take it away, Bryce.
All right. Well, this game is powered by the Apocalypse. Use 2d6. So those watching at home, you'll take 2d6 and you'll add your stat. There's one of 4 stats that you will add to get a result. 1 through 6 is a failure. 7 through 9 is a partial success. And 10 or higher is a complete success. Most of these games are narrative in design. There's not a lot of rules. And we'll go from there. But first, there is a message that I was supposed to read to you all. So, good evening. The game you are about to play will make you miserable. The makers of this game have instructed me to tell you that you will have a most terrible time. You'll be playing miserable servant staff trying to one-up each other for pointless and hopeless prestige. Don't say I didn't warn you. So now that we've gotten through that warning, that is in the book, by the way, we will go around and introduce ourselves. So I'm going to start with Aaron. Aaron, who are you playing this evening?
I will be playing Montague Rushforth III. I'm a valet.
Excellent. Amanda.
I am playing Daisy Richmond. I am the housekeeper.
Excellent. Derek.
I'm John McGugan, the chauffeur.
Excellent. And now we'll turn to, we have 2 Jessicas tonight, so I will go with Jessica Conrad first.
Oh, I'm playing Mrs. Edith Williams, the cook.
The cook. Excellent. And the other Jessica.
You can just call me Jess for the purposes of today.
All right.
So I am Abigail Hooper, the maid.
Abigail Hooper. I got to write that down. That was the one name I didn't have. Hooper. And then Doug.
I am Mr. Lynch Belvedere, which is a hybrid of the 2 greatest butlers of all time, Lurch and Mr. Belvedere.
All right. Excellent. Excellent. All right. Well, I'm going to read a little introduction. You are all mostly new to the Blackwood Manor. So we're going to try this, and if it gets a little too loud, you can tell me. But we're going to play a little Downton Abbey theme. We'll play us in here.
Do we have the rights to that, Bryce?
We'll use only the fair use portion of it.
All right, because you know.
The year is 1919. You are in need of work, and you have all entered service answering an ad for the Blackwood family. In the quaint countryside of England, you aren't going to let anything keep you from your job. Being in service can be very political and nasty, but you've decided you will deal with any uppity coworkers that attempt to make your life difficult. Plus, it's not like the Blackwood family has retained much of their previous staff to compete with. In fact, there's been almost 100% turnover. Why the Blackwood family needed so many new servants is a mystery. After a brief carriage ride, you find yourself standing outside the gates of a foreboding manor. The original house appears to have been constructed sometime in the late 1700s. Of course, through all this fog, you can't make much out. The gate creaks as you open it and approach. You hear in the distance a disturbing and frightening sound, the baying of a great hound upon the moors. As you reach the porch, you see a rather looking shifty man, the kind of man that would tell you exactly what you wanted to hear while relieving you of all your belongings. Hello, you must be the new staff. I'm Lord Blackwood's solicitor, Tully Huxley. I'll escort you in. And he opens the door. You walk through the double doors into the manor house. You find yourself in a large and impressive common hall. This is the last time you'll enter through the front doors, Mr. Huxley whines. From now on, use the servants' entrance off the kitchen. Huxley takes you through the hall, passing elaborate and pristine marble columns and exquisite and undoubtedly priceless classical statues of Greek philosophers. But instead of the typical poses you think artists would carve for these men of great thought, the sculptures seem to represent their form in their final death throes. Eccentric family, you think to yourself. Well, no big deal. You've dealt with weirdo wealthy people before. You proceed into the portrait gallery. This too would seem normal for any wealthy landed gentry, paintings of mothers, fathers, and ancestors. Except here, there's one disturbing fact. The eyes in all the portraits of the ancestors of the Blackwoods have had their eyes cut out rather hastily and haphazardly. And at this point, seeing this scene is really starting to prey on your nerves a bit. That's a little weird. So I'm going to need everyone to make an ignore the strange roll. So you're going to take 2d6, and you're going to add your, I got to find it real quick.
Composure?
There's a stat for that. Ignore the strange is composure. So 2d6 plus your composure, and I will start with Aaron. What do you get?
I guess I'm not very composed. I rolled a 4.
A 4. Oh, yes. So an interesting thing happens. So during this game, there are you and the characters, and there is the audience at home. And the screen goes black, and then comes back to the portrait gallery with a little subtitle that says, "Several weeks ago." And several men in white coats are wheeling the previous cook out on a gurney. She seems strapped down to it. She has something in her mouth that's preventing her from talking. They move her out the door, and the police officer the constable turns to Lord Blackwood and says, did she ever have any insanity in her family? Lord Blackwood turns to the detective and says, well, her great aunt thought she was the 5th Earl of Sidcup. I'm going to go ahead and check yes, Mr. Blackwood. And there the scene goes black and you're back in. And Aaron, that scene is really disturbing. You're going to take a point of alarming trauma. This is just not right, and you feel uneasy. Amanda, what did you get?
I got a 7.
A 7. This is really strange to you, but obviously the product of some prank of one of the Blackwood's children. Derek, what's your character again? Mugen? Mr. Mugen?
McGugan.
McGugan. McGugan. Mr. McGugan, what did you get on your roll?
A 9.
A 9. Yeah, same thing. Maybe it wasn't a kid. Maybe someone really disliked their ancestors here. That's probably what happened. I mean, there's a few people in your family, right, that you'd probably cut the eyes out of their portrait. Jessica, what did you get?
I got a 5.
A 5. Well, a 5 does give you it gives you a point of trauma as well, but it isn't so much the eyes of the portrait as the fact that you see a portrait of someone that you've been told about in some sort of history class in school. One of the paintings is of Thaddeus Blackwood. I'm sorry. You heard about Thaddeus Blackwood. In 1875, he was arrested and brought up on charges of attempting to sell Great Britain to King Alfonso of Spain. The charges were later dropped, as the supposed King of Spain was in fact identified as a fishmonger from Cornwall. Very odd.
Yeah, so.
Jess, what did you get?
I got a 6.
A 6. Oh, this is disturbing to you, and you're going to take a point of trauma as well.
Okay.
The scene, when you look at the paintings, you actually saw on one of them a trickle of some substance, some red substance coming out of the bottom of the eye, or what was the eye. Doug, what did you get?
I rolled a 9, but I also get to I used my stiff upper lip, which lets me use my fortitude instead of my composure. So that bumped it up to an 11.
Oh, well, this is nothing new for you. You've seen this kind of stuff before in service.
Yes. Yes.
Eccentrics many times.
Wait, we can use our pointless stuff. We can use our pointless moves anytime.
If they apply to a roll, yes.
So I have one that allows, when I'm about to receive trauma, I can roll a persuasion instead.
Yes.
Oh.
Can I do that?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm just going to start weeping uncontrollably. And I'm going to roll again. This is my
The
persuasion.
maid is crying. Why is she crying?
And this time I received 10. I have a +2 for my persuasion.
Very nice. Does anyone wish to address the fact that the maid is crying?
I think someone should get her a tissue.
Yes, someone should. And the camera pans up the elaborate staircase, and at the very top of the stairs, you see Lord Blackwood and his wife, who is dressed in all black with a black veil. He escorts her down the stairs, and he seems rather annoyed at the maid in this public outburst. Lord Blackwell, dressed in the finest suits of the day, escorts his lady, a woman clad all in black, to the base of the stairs. They nod in the direction of the lawyer. I've brought you the new staff as requested. They await your orders. If you pardon my impertinence, I hope you go easier on them than the last staff. The inquest barely cleared the... Yes, Huxley, that will do. The less said about the incident, the better. Thank you for your attention to this detail. You may go. And Huxley walks out the door. Blackwell approaches you and sizes you all up. And he seems to be very impressed with the butler, which irritates you all to no end. How dare he like the butler better than me? I'm Lord Blackwell. Welcome to Bedlam Hall. I apologize for the name, but my great-grandfather named the place and had it written into his will that we were never allowed to change it. He said it kept away old bogey. Anyway, this is my wife, Lady Daffodil. Now then, let's have a good look at you all. And he sizes you all up. Now, as he approaches the maid, what are you doing?
I didn't get to the second part of my weeping. I passed the trauma point to somebody else if I succeed.
Oh. Excellent. Who would you like to pass that to?
I believe that who didn't get a trauma point for that?
That uppity butler.
Yeah, the butler. The one who him.
Yep.
That'll show him. The butler takes an alarming point of trauma.
Whatever. I've had much worse.
So when the Lord of the Manor is approaching me, I'm just dabbing away the remnants of my tears. A pleasure, sir. I'm Abigail Hooper. It's nice to meet you.
Hooper, yes, I'll remember you. Well, I run a fair but tight ship. I expect my staff to behave with respectability and do whatever you can to protect the family name. You'll soon get the lay of the house, or at least the layout that occurs on most days. If you have any questions, you may ask our scullery maid, Tilda. She will answer them. Today is my youngest daughter's birthday, so we will, of course, be letting her out of the attic. And with this, he approaches the housekeeper, and the housekeeper, Richmond, and he hands you this big key. This, of course, is for the attic. You may let her out today. She wishes to... What's that?
Right, of course, sir.
Excellent. She wishes to have her party outside in the old gazebo. So we have all day to get the details correct for this evening's festivities. The cook should go to the kitchen and probably work on lunch. The maid should attend my wife. The housekeeper should get the lay of the land and maybe talk to my daughter, Matilda. The chauffeur, we have the car that needs work on. And the butler should prepare for setting the place for lunch. The valet should accompany me to the library. I wish to speak with you. Just one more thing, though, before you leave. Be sure to always use the dumbwaiter elevator when bringing meals to the Blackwood bedrooms. Do not bring silver into the stairwell. The stairwell hates silver. And with this, he turns and starts to walk off to the library, and Lady Daffodil steps outside for a nice little walk around the manor. So we will start with the cook. Jessica, you managed to find your way to the kitchen, and what do you wish to do?
I wish to start looking through the cupboards.
You look through the cupboards, and you notice as you go through the cupboards that there's this girl dressed in a maid's uniform that's on her knees scrubbing the floor.
I'm going to ask her what her name is.
Excuse me, ma'am. Tilda. Tilda's the name. I'm just getting everything clean for you.
Tilda, what's your job around here?
I'm the scullery maid, ma'am. If you have any questions of what's in the cabinets, you can trust me. I'm happy to help in any way I can.
Why don't you go ahead and make lunch today?
Me making lunch?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes, go right ahead.
That sounds great, but there's so many things I have to do myself. The floor needs scrubbing. I wouldn't presume to order you to clean the floors, but somebody has to, or Lady Daffodil gets quite upset.
Oh, all right, Hilda. What do you think we should make?
Well, the master likes lamb.
Let's try something else. How about a salad?
Well, we can start with a salad. You do know how to make lamb, don't you?
Of course I do.
She seems rather unsure of your comments.
Tilda, why don't you go find someone else?
It's almost like she has a piece of dirt on you. And she gets this little gleam in her eye that all servants seem to have when they find something out about their coworkers. Okay, so as you start in on lunch with your salad, the butler.
Yes.
Where is Belvedere going?
He has to go set the place for lunch.
Okay, so you make your way down into the kitchen where you see the scullery maid seemingly giving directions on how to make a salad. Cook. But before you have time to react, the servant's door opens to the kitchen, and in walks an older gentleman, and he's wearing his English hunting manor coat, and he's got his gray hair on, and he's carrying a shotgun, and you notice he has this blood trickling out from his left arm.
Sir, are you all right?
Oh, yes, I was hunting last night, and seems that something got a hold of me, knocked me dead to the ground, and took a little chunk out of me, actually. Oh, you must be new.
Yes, I'm Mr. Belvedere, the new butler.
Belvedere, huh? I hope you're better than the last man. You know anything about tending to wounds?
What's that?
You know anything about tending to wounds?
I'm sure I could figure it out.
Well, if you don't mind taking a look at this, I'm Colonel Balthazar Blackwood. Okay, so the butler, if you want to try to bind his wounds, you'll need a serve the house roll.
Serve the house. Okay. That's my fortitude. That is a 13.
Wow. You expertly bind his wounds, and as you're bandaging things, you notice that some big creature took a big bite out of the colonel.
Hmm.
Well, I say, Belvedere, excellent piece of work there. I can see why you were hired. Why, you're the best staff there is here. Jessica, as you hear these words, that just makes you even more angrier. You earn a point of prestige for that.
Nice. Now, I start out with 2 anyway, right?
You do, because you're the butler. And now you are more important than any of them.
So what for the folks watching, can you explain what prestige points do?
Sure. So anytime you're in a scene, the one with the most prestige gets the most attention from the family in order to create the constant competition for best staff. You can also spend prestige on rolls. So if you want to burn a point of prestige on a roll, you'd get a +1 or a +2, and then you would expend the prestige. If you ever get to 0 prestige, the staff, the house starts to look for reasons to dismiss you. Which in the game is sort of the RPG equivalent of character death. You're dismissed from the manor. So that's how prestige works. Back to the colonel. He looks at you and says, well, good work, Belvedere. I'm not feeling well. I think I'll go up to my room. If you don't mind sending lunch up when it's ready, I'd like to have it in my room.
Absolutely, sir.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. So now we turn to the valet, who is in the library with the Lord Blackwood. He walks into the library, and I'll have you go ahead and make an everything in its place roll.
Okay, which is etiquette.
It is.
And I rolled. Well, I guess I didn't roll that well. 7 plus my etiquette 8.
8. It's good enough. However, as you notice that all these books are scattered all over the library, and it's going to take hours to reorganize, you also see that someone has drawn a circle in chalk on the library floor. But before you have a chance to react to that, Lord Blackwood turns to you and says, now look here, Rushforth, is that your name?
Montague, my lord.
Yes. Well, Rushforth is your last name. That's how we refer to the staff here, you see.
Yes, my lord.
Well, then, I'm wondering if, well, first off, let me tell you one thing. I am not a man who's a slave to his valet. I will dictate my own fashion.
A wise decision, my lord.
I will choose the hats and the coats and the ties and any apparel that I want. Will not be a slave to my valet.
As you wish, my lord. I'm here to serve.
Excellent. Those are the words I wish to hear. Now, I'm wondering if you can help me with something. I have here some words. I'm trying to figure out what language they're from. Perhaps you can tell me, and he hands this sheet of paper to you.
If I may suggest, my lord, your
Yes.
daughter's birthday is being celebrated today. It might be wiser at this time for us to find someone to help clean up this and straighten these books up a bit. And in the meantime, I shall interpret for you.
Make a guide their direction roll. You are attempting to guide him in his actions.
And that is an 11.
Whoa.
Nice.
Oh, perhaps you're right. I mean, my daughter doesn't get out of the attic much at all. That's a good idea. We'll save this for later.
As you wish, my lord.
I don't really think it's your responsibility to clean up all these books. So if you'll fetch the maid, this sounds like a job for her.
Right away, my lord. When will there be anything else I need to attend to?
Oh, just one thing. I was hoping for some lamb for lunch. Can you arrange that?
I shall go speak with the cook immediately. In the meantime, I shall bring this book and interpret it for you.
Oh, that would be most exciting. It's just this phrase here. If you can figure it out, I'd be thankful. Also, I do not want this circle erased under any circumstances. The books can be put back on the shelf, but the circle must remain. Do we understand each other?
Absolutely, my lord.
Excellent. Good man, Rushforth. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
And as you leave, we go to the maid, who has gone up the stairs with Lady Daffodil. And you enter the dressing room of Lady Daffodil, and you need to make an everything in its place roll.
Okay, so what is that?
Everything in your place is an etiquette roll, so 2d6 plus your etiquette.
Okay, so that is I'm doing an electronic dice roll. I hope that's okay with you.
That's fine.
That is a 9.
Wow. That is good enough to notice this woman has a lot of beauty products. And I don't just mean a lot of beauty products for a wealthy person. I mean a lot of product for anyone, including the wealthy. And it's thrown all over the room.
Does it look disorganized?
A little bit. I hope you know how to do hair.
Yes, madam.
Well, excellent. I'm planning on going out later, you see. So if you don't mind. And she sits down in her little vanity.
Okay. I'm going to look at some of these beauty products and see if there's anything for hair.
Oh, yeah. There's stuff there for hair. And a big brush.
I'll grab a jar for hair stuff.
Uh-huh.
I will grab the big brush, and I will take to Lady Daffodil's side and begin combing out her hair.
So, where are you from?
London, madam.
Oh, and how much time did you spend there?
I grew up there, madam. I spent a lot of time there.
Oh, you know, my husband was in London not too long ago.
Oh, it is quite the city.
Yes. Lots of people. I doubt you ever ran into him.
Oh, likely not, my lady, likely not.
The conversation is getting a little too intense for you. Do you wish to change the topic?
I do wish to change the topic.
Guide her direction.
Okay, and that is... Ooh, that's another high roll. What is that, though?
It is a persuasion roll.
Okay, so that is 10 this time.
And what do you
I have a 2 in etiquette and persuasion, just so you know. I have a -1 in composure and fortitude.
Okay. So what are you saying to her?
Madam, if you don't mind me asking, where will you be going so I can better do your hair for you, coif you.
Oh, I'm going to have I'm going to go for a drive. There's a friend of mine that I see in the village quite often, but he doesn't get out much.
Oh, on your daughter's birthday, madam.
Oh, I'll be back in plenty of time for her birthday. Just a quick little trip.
Oh, wonderful. Well, I will make sure that your hair will stay well during your ride and not fall loose, and I'll put it up in a nice braid around her head or something like that.
All right. Give me a serve the house roll, and let's see how well this hair went.
Okay, and that is, ooh, what is that?
Fortitude.
That is 2.
Oh.
Oh, no.
Wait, no, sorry, 3. I have a -1. Just 3.
You go to tell her that you're finished. She looks in the mirror. Really? I thought you knew how to do hair.
Yes, madam, this is all of the rage in London.
Oh, this is quite atrocious. This will never do for him. Out with you. And she takes a book off her vanity and she chucks the book at you.
Can I catch it?
Yes, you catch it, and you notice the book reads Beauty Secrets from Elizabeth Bathory.
Oh dear.
Out you go.
Yes, madam. I'm sorry, madam.
You have lost a point of prestige. This hairdo is hideous. And you better think of doing something quick that will make up for this.
Okay. Are you gonna move on perspectives right now, or?
Yes.
Okay. I'll think of something good.
See. Oh, the housekeeper, of course. So, Amanda, or Richmond. What is Richmond doing?
I am going to make my way up to the attic, but first I'm going to kind of make a circuit of each floor so that I have a basic idea of the layout as I make my way up there.
Yeah, doesn't appear to be anything necessarily unusual. It looks like a pretty good manor house, and you've got the lay of the land. As you pass through the stairwell leading upstairs, you take a few steps, and you don't notice this, but everyone at home sees blood forming on the wall and dripping down the sides of the wall. You make your way up to the upstairs. You hear someone in one room just clearing his throat like an old man. And at the very end of the hall, you see an attic door. And you know it's an attic because it's smaller and narrower and just a little bit creepy. What do you want to do?
Well, then I guess I will go and unlock the door and head up to the attic. Not that I want to, but I'm supposed to.
You put the key in the door and you turn it. You walk up a couple more stairs and you see this very pretty young girl with long black hair, kind of messy. And she is in this dusty, dirty attic that has a little vanity and a big, giant, fancy mirror off to one side. And she turns to you and says, "Hello."
Hello, dear. I'm Mrs. Richmond. I'm the new housekeeper.
Oh, you are? Did you know it's my birthday?
Yes, I heard. We should get you all cleaned up and ready for your celebration.
I would like that. I'm going to have my birthday in the gazebo.
Yes, I heard. That's very exciting. But here, let's come brush your hair, get you all nice and cleaned up and ready for your party.
That sounds like a good idea. Just don't look in the mirror, okay?
Okay.
Mr. Widow doesn't like the mirror.
Who's that?
He's my friend.
Oh, is he up here with you?
Oh, he's always around.
Do I see anybody up in the attic?
No.
Okay.
Not a soul.
Okay. I'm gonna start brushing this child's hair and trying to get her if she needs clean clothes or anything. Or
Okay.
her face washed or anything like that.
Let's see how well you can do that. You can do a little serve the house roll. Now, many times when you play the game, you can just kind of gloss over some of the chores, but I like using serve the house on occasion because it sets up interesting plot points like the bad hairdo.
Dude, okay. And I got a 6.
A 6. Did you add your stat for that?
Yeah. I did. I got a 6.
You know, you're doing this really good job on the hair for a second, but you do this little half turn and you keep thinking about the mirror. And you realize that you're doing a terrible job. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna let Jan know.
You're gonna what?
Do it.
No, I am just gonna, you know what, call it good enough on the hair and just ask her if there is any do you have a favorite dress you'd like to wear for the party?
Oh, yes.
Switch gears here. There's
It's
good enough.
It's in the wardrobe.
Oh, all right. You'll have to show me which one it is.
Oh, I probably should, just in case Mr. Widow is in there.
Oh, okay.
Nope, he's not in there. But this dress is.
Okay.
I'll wear this.
Oh, wonderful.
You're really
Wonderful.
nice.
Oh, well, thank you, dear. It's very nice to meet you.
I'm so excited to be out of the attic.
Yes, it's a big day.
You help her into her dress, and she takes a little bit of a moment to go to the window that looks, the solitary window that looks out onto the manor grounds, and she puts her hands up like this and looks out for a bit, and then she follows you out of the attic.
Okay.
Meanwhile,
I'm going to make sure to close the door behind us when we leave, by the way.
Oh, good idea. A pretty good idea. So you shut the door, and no one in our little party sees this, but as the camera takes the side view of the mirror, 2 little legs pop out of the mirror. And we move on to our chauffeur. What are you doing, Mr. Chauffeur?
I'm gonna go check the there's a car in the garage, right?
Yes. In fact, you
I'm
turn.
gonna go check out the garage.
As you go out around the corner of the manor house and you go into the garage, you find a very nice Duesenberg. And it might be due for a little tune-up. And as you open the hood, you hear a child from the side of the garage on the outside saying, "I missed." Well, another child says, try again. This time hit me."
I take a look.
You go outside the garage and turn the corner, and you see a little plump, kind of the whole 1920s cap and coat kid with a bow and arrow. And he has this bow and arrow pulled back, fully strung, and he gets even more closer. He was about 10 feet from this little sickly child, but now he's about 4 feet from this little sickly child. And the little sickly child says, "Go ahead, shoot me."
Wow, this is...
Sounds like a typical day at our house, actually.
The family should be named Adams.
So what are you doing?
Do you help the kid aim?
Tell him not to tempt.
The arrow, by the way, is very, very sharp looking.
Don't tense up.
Make an everything in its place roll.
Which one is that?
Persuasion. Oh, etiquette.
So that would be an 8.
Nice.
An 8, you very clearly recognize that the little sickly blonde-haired child is definitely of the landed gentry. The child that's about to shoot him is not.
Probably shouldn't do that then.
Are you saying that out loud?
Yes.
All right. So guide their direction. So you're going to make a guide the direction roll, and you're going to come up with a course of action that they should take.
Persuasion. All right. So that's a 13.
Oh, wow. What do you want to say to them?
Can we find a squirrel instead?
Oh, yeah, a squirrel. That'd be good. And the kid puts down the bow and arrow. And he goes, I don't know if there's any here, though. I'd probably have to go to the forest. I don't even want to be here today, but they're making me for that creepy girl's birthday. She's really
if you got
creepy.
lost in the woods, you have an excuse.
You mean I can take off? You won't tell anyone, will you?
I'm not going to stop you.
I mean, have you seen this Matilda girl? She's really, really creepy. Just look. The camera is on you and this little kid from the village. It moves across the manor house, up the manor house, to the attic window, and there is a little girl in black hair. And then it comes
Not so bad.
So you're really not going to tell anyone?
I saw nothing. I go back into the garage.
Okay. He runs off. And the little blonde-haired, sickly child comes up to you. You probably shouldn't have done that.
No? You know where the wrenches are?
You don't like me very much, do you?
I have no issue with you. Do you know where the wrenches are?
They're on the third shelf.
Are they
Why
actually
don't
on the
you
third shelf?
me?
I go look.
The kid follows you as you get a wrench. And he goes,
I hand him the wrenches.
I don't know what to do with these wrenches. Why do you like Yorkshire? What is it about Yorkshire?
I have no idea. I'm from Argyle.
Oh, you're a clever one. I'll see you later.
Can you leave the wrenches if you're going to run off?
He drops the wrench and leaves. All right. So meanwhile, back in that kitchen, we're working on that big salad. I assume that at this point, our trusty valet will reach the kitchen with the orders for lunch. So the cook and the valet and Tilda, the scullery maid, are now in the kitchen. Anything you want to do?
I say, Lord Blackwell would really, really be interested in some lamb for lunch. And also, there are a great deal of books that need to be straightened out. Do you know where the maid is?
Last I know, she was with Lady Daffodil. And unfortunately, we don't have any lamb available, so a salad will do.
Jessica, or Jess, where are you right now?
I am finding, with my utmost possible abilities, something to clean to get my prestige back. And I'm actually, you know what? That book had beauty secrets in it. I'm gonna find out about Lady Daffodil's beauty secrets, so I can also help her out later. How about that?
So you're just gonna
Read and walk.
You're gonna read and walk. All right. You make your way down the stairs, and yeah, you need to make an ignore the strange roll.
Okay. Is that composure, I assume?
Yes.
I don't have a list of these things.
They're in the book group.
They're in the group? Oh. I got a
Yeah,
4.
there's an action list posted there.
I got 4.
A 4.
Yeah.
So these beauty secrets all seem to involve the blood of virgins. The thought of that creeps you out to the point that you drop the book and you take a point of trauma.
Okay.
But you are the maid, so...
I mean, I can start sobbing uncontrollably. I probably should have done that with the prestige thing too. But I don't know if that is good role play. There's no one around me to transfer that trauma to. The walls, I guess.
You don't know why or how she got this book.
It must be a work of fiction. This is terrible. Too bad I can't help her with this. I'm gonna look for something to clean.
You run past, frantically running past the library, and you see books in total disarray.
That's a job for me. I'm going to clean this. This time I'm not going to read them.
And that seems to get this task seems to get your mind off of that awful book. Why would she have that book? Meanwhile, back in the kitchen.
My dear cook, would you happen to know where some additional meats might be stored?
No, actually, we are fresh out.
There's perhaps some instruction can be found in this bit of text that Lord Blackwell has presented. And I'm going to show her the book that I got from Lord Blackwell with the passage.
The passage, Jessica reads, Klaatu Verata Nick.
What kind of witchcraft are you showing me?
Oh, good heavens. Did I bring the wrong book?
You must have.
Do you know what this means?
No clue. Maybe Tilda knows.
Oh, ma'am, I've never heard those words before. Say, where are we setting up this party later? Are we having it in the dining room?
No, we're having it in the gazebo.
Oh, not the dread gazebo. No, no. You can't make me set that up, ma'am. I won't set that up.
Tilda, what good are you if you're not going to help?
Please, ma'am, don't make me set up anything in the dread gazebo.
Tilda, I've had enough of this. Go set up the gazebo.
All right, so now you're going to try to direct the staff. That is an etiquette roll.
I got a 6.
A 6. All right. So you can tell that she's very, very upset, and she turns to the valet. Sir, please don't make me set up the gazebo. We have a perfectly better gazebo on the grounds, just a little further on.
If I may suggest, why don't we see what Matilda would like, which gazebo she would like.
All right. And as you say that, the housekeeper, where are you with Matilda?
I was basically just letting her out and kind of following her around, so wherever she ended up.
Well, she is quite hungry, so she makes her way into the kitchen. And all of you see Matilda walk in that are still in the kitchen. The butler's in the setting up for lunch, and we'll get to you in a second. So in the kitchen, now is Matilda, the housekeeper, the valet, the scullery maid, and the cook. Oh, you're all new. I can't wait to have Mr. Widow meet you all. What's for lunch?
Salad.
I don't like salad.
Well, if you want cake later, you have to eat your veggies now.
I want cake.
Later, for your birthday.
Yay! Cake!
All right, now out with you. Shoo.
Well, it's about time for lunch. I'm going to go in the dining room. Maybe Mr. Widow will visit me.
Maybe.
And off she toddles to the dining room.
Okay.
Meanwhile, in the dining room, the butler is there. And I assume you're setting the immaculate place mats for lunch.
Yes.
All right, make a serve the house roll.
7 plus 2 is a 9.
9 is good enough to set the placemats and the silverware and know where it all needs to go, and the cups and everything, and the silver. And as you're doing that, Matilda comes in and says, I always sit in that chair. I want that chair.
As you wish, young lady.
Thank you. I'm going to sit here. You're new.
I am Mr. Belvedere.
Belvedere. That's a fun name to say. Belvedere. Have you seen Mr. Widow?
I don't believe I have.
Oh, well, he'll be along shortly.
Very nice.
A few seconds later, a sickly-looking blonde kid enters the dining room. And he looks at Matilda, and he looks at you, and he doesn't say much. Is there anything you want to do?
Yes. Hello, Master. I'm Mr. Belvedere, the new butler.
I know.
Excellent.
You want to know something else?
Sure.
Come closer.
Yes.
The good whiskey is under lock and key.
Duly noted.
I know you're thinking about it.
I like you already. And I pat him on the head.
I shall sit here. And he gets a chair and sits down.
Very good.
Meanwhile, we cut to the garage. And in the garage, you're working on the Duesenberg. And this woman who's probably in her 30s turns the corner into the garage. And as you're working on the car and you've got your bent over, she goes, "Oh, now that's a lovely view." You must be
just
the chauffeur.
An everyday. That's an everyday happening at their house, right?
I straighten up rather hastily.
Abstinence, Lycurgus. And she holds out her hand for you.
Abstinence.
Yeah. I take her hand. Oh, I'm Magoogan, the chauffeur.
Yes. Maybe we should go.
You know, sir,
What's that?
Do you know if they're telling anyone whether the lunch is available?
Oh, I'm sure we're having lunch shortly, but I was hoping maybe you and I could go for a ride later. I really don't care where.
Maybe much later.
He goes, well, it can't be. And at this, she starts to twirl your hair. Too late.
And who are you here?
Miss Lycurgus. I'm Lady Daffodil's sister. Perhaps you've seen my son, blonde-haired boy.
Yes, him.
Yes. But I assure you, his father is quite out of the picture.
Good for him.
Oh no, I think it wasn't good for him at all. But it could be good for you. And at this, now she's running her finger up and down your jacket, your chauffeur's jacket.
I assure you, lady, I'm thoroughly taken.
Oh, you're quite taken with me. I understand. I'm taken with you. Let's forget lunch. Let's go for a ride now.
But I'm hungry.
Try to guide her direction.
Which one's that?
Persuasion.
So that would be 9.
Well, I suppose we can wait at least through lunch, but I'll be looking for you.
Not hard to find.
She turns and walks towards the house and ends up in the dining room. The butler realizes now that it would be a good time to check on the food.
Yes.
And most people were having lunch in the dining room, except Colonel Balthazar is having his lunch upstairs.
All right. So I should go into the kitchen and check on the food.
You go into the kitchen and you find almost everyone there except the maid, and you find a salad.
Is this all?
Yes, yes, it is.
Do you have a meal ready for Colonel Balthazar? Prepared?
Just this little side salad for him. He wasn't feeling very well earlier.
Well then, I guess it'll do. Let me.
Would you like to?
Now, is there the dumbwaiters in the kitchen?
Yes, and it will go up to the hallway of the second floor.
Okay. So I'm going to take the little tiny side salad and put it in the dumbwaiter and bring it up to the second floor, and so that it goes up to the second floor.
All right. Someone will have to get it from there and take it into the colonel's room. And as you decide who that person should be, we will slide to the library. And you've managed to get all the books back in place. And Lord Blackwood is in there intensely studying the book on his desk. And he says, I forget your name. I apologize. What's your name?
Abigail, sir.
Abigail, yes. Just a quick question, if you don't mind.
Yes, sir.
You look very familiar to me.
I have one of those faces, sir.
No. A few years. Oh, dear.
Excuse me, sir. I believe I hear them calling for me in the kitchen. Will you excuse me, please?
Yes. That can't... Is it her? It's been a few years, but could it be? Oh, well, I'm never going to get any work done without some lamb's blood. And off he trots out the door. And everybody in the kitchen soon sees Lord Blackwood. Yes, I wouldn't mind having lunch in the library. I'm immersed in scientific research, you see. Did we get that lamb? Lamb's blood here. Scientific research, of course. Just need a little bit of it.
I'm sorry, Lord. There is no lamb available.
He pulls a valet aside. He goes, I thought I told you that we needed lamb.
Absolutely, sir. May I suggest that perhaps the cook and the chauffeur ride into town to pick up some more, since she obviously says there is none?
Well, please. I won't be having just that for lunch.
Absolutely not, sir.
Someone better figure this out immediately.
I am confident that you can find the correct instruction for the cook and correct direction for the cook to produce some lamb.
Well, when you have this figured out, sound the lunch gong. Till then, I'll be in the library.
Ah, yes, sir. I shall meet you very soon, I'm sure.
He steps out and he goes, servant staff. He steps off a few steps back into the library. All right, so now I think probably all of you are near the kitchen, right? Anybody doing anything else? All right, so you're all awkwardly looking at each other in the kitchen over this salad.
No, there has to be something else in the larder here. Clearly, this is not what the master wanted.
I'm sure if we all pull together, we can make something quickly before dinner.
All right, well, for lunch, we'll bring the salad out. There has to be some bread and cheese. There has to be something that we can throw together. Some kind of side plate. Come on, everyone. Let's go.
Excellent. That's exactly what housekeepers do. Guide or do their, what's that called? Direct the staff etiquette roll.
Direct the staff. Everybody do their things. All right, I got an 8.
An 8. Well, all of you are told to do this, and amazingly, you're sure if you do this, you'll be able to have the housekeeper do something for you later without too much of a fuss. Mechanically speaking, you all got the reward on the partial success that the next time you order her to do something, it's an automatic success, and she has to do it. But all of you chip in for lunch, and you manage to get bread and salad and butter out the door and into the dining room. Who's serving dinner, or who's serving the lunch?
That should probably be me.
Yeah, and who's serving the colonel as lunch?
Oh.
The maid.
Okay. Is the maid going along with that?
I suppose so. If someone will tell Lady Blackwell that her hair looks magnificent.
I don't believe I've had the pleasure of working with Lady Blackwell. I shall go up and meet her immediately.
Do.
You've probably sat down for lunch at this point in the dining room. So the maid heads up the stairs, and you get up to the dumbwaiter. You open it up, and inside the dumbwaiter is, of course, a side salad.
Just the side salad.
Just a side.
I am going to put it back down, go back downstairs, make sure we have everything that we have served.
Good point. Yeah.
And some tea, and then take it up.
All right. Are you taking it up via the
dumbwaiter?
Okay.
The dumbwaiter.
You take it up and you get it off the dumbwaiter, and you take it to the colonel's room, Well, it's about time.
Yes, sir. It seems that there was a mix-up in the larder with the cook, but this is lunch.
Doesn't look like much. I'm famished.
Oh, well, I'm sure we'll be having an extravagant dinner later tonight, sir.
You know, I had a life and death struggle last night out there.
Oh, dear.
Something bit me. He shows up his arm to you, and there's not a scratch on his arm at all.
Well, you look quite well.
It got better.
I can see that, sir. I'm happy for you.
Well, yes. As again, good girl. Where are you from?
London, sir.
Oh, London. Excellent place. Ah, London. I remember my younger days in London before life in the army.
Yes, sir. It's a wonderful city.
It was like he was going to tell a story, and then he just kind of trailed off. He goes, "All right, we'll thank you for this."
I'm gonna nod at him like, mm-hmm. You go on.
Yes. Well, and he goes and tells you his life story for the next 20 minutes.
Okay.
And you earn a point of prestige for listening to
wonderful.
all his battles and stories of heroics and life in India. You know, he was once surrounded by an entire native tribe with spears. Luckily, he had his Henry Martini rifle, and he was able to fight his way out of it.
Now, does this count as someone sharing their trauma with me?
Not for him, because he relishes that.
Okay, what about his arm, though?
Oh, yeah, sure.
So can I roll a persuasion and see if I can lose my trauma?
Sure.
With my trusted confidant skill?
Yes.
Okay, let's see. Let's not roll crappy again. Are we allowed to swear on this YouTube video?
Sure.
I got a 9. 9 for persuasion.
Yeah, it's good enough to shed yourself share the trauma. He's probably going to ask a favor of you at some point.
Okay.
As you turn back around, you notice that the door to the room is closed.
The door to Balthazar's room?
Yes.
Oh, I must have accidentally closed this, and I'll open it.
You go to open it, and as you open it, it slams shut again.
Oh dear. What would you call not the Lord of the House? Would you call him like Sir Balthazar?
Yeah, I mean, Sir or Colonel or.
Oh yeah, Colonel. Colonel Balthazar, I do believe that there's something wrong with the door here. I can't quite get it open. It must be stuck. Try to open it again.
The door, you say, and it does make a fortitude roll.
Okay. Ah, good. I got a 10.
You manage to just move out of the way as the door flies open just past your nose.
Yes.
And slams up against the far wall. There's the door. It's quite fiddly, you see.
I see that, Colonel. I'll be careful next time.
Salad isn't very good.
I apologize, sir. Would you like me to bring you something else? And perhaps we can get someone to check on the door for you? Maybe give it a bit of oil?
Oh, well, I don't know. The last person to check on the door ended up in the hospital.
Oh, dear.
But yes, some sort of meat would be good. Extra rare. Rare, yes. It sounds delicious.
Of course, sir. I'll skedaddle down to the kitchen again.
All right. Meanwhile, we'll go down to the dining room where the butler is serving. And as you make your way around, Lady Daffodil says to you, if you wouldn't mind telling the chauffeur, Mr. Belvedere, I want to go on a trip after lunch. Someone I need to see.
Absolutely, ma'am.
If you could have him pull the car around.
Will do, ma'am.
At this, Abstinence Lycurgus looks up and says, oh, I'll go tell him to bring the car around.
Oh, no need, ma'am. I'll be glad to do it.
All right, guide their direction.
Persuasion -1. It is a 6.
She goes, no, that's quite all right. I have a great rapport with the chauffeur.
As you wish.
She steps out into the main little walkway and gets a big old smile on her face, and off she goes to the garage. And Derek, are you in the kitchen or the garage?
I thought I was in the kitchen.
Okay, that's fine. So all of you hear the Blackwoods and their lunch. They're going, what is this lunch? Maybe they, and she turns to the children and goes, maybe they just need time to get used to where everything is. We should be kind to them. But Mr. Widow won't like that. That's enough, Matilda. Just have your lunch. We'll have cake later. Meanwhile, the camera pans out past the grounds to this kid that had the bow and arrow before, and nobody sees this, but he turns around and goes, cake? And he makes his way back to the manor house.
This kid's got his priorities in check.
The abstinence goes in the garage and can't find the chauffeur. And yeah, we don't know what happens there. And then there is a knock on the double door at the front door. Now, normally this is the job of either the butler or a valet to open the door, unless, of course, someone is closer.
Am I still in the dining room?
Yeah, you and anyone in the kitchen would hear it.
I can go get it. That's fine.
Okay.
I'll go get the door.
The valet, are you wanting to get to the door too?
No, I want to go and speak with Mrs. Blackwood.
Ah, okay, so you'll make your way into the dining room.
Correct.
All right, so we go to the front door, and you open the front door, and suddenly, there on the other side of the door, in the fog, is the postman. Package for Lord Blackwood, sir.
I'll take that, thank you.
Is it here? Is it here? Blackwood is running down the portrait gallery and into the entryway. Is it here? Has it come?
I believe so, sir.
Excellent. Let's see what we have here. And he sets it down and he starts to get in the package. Now, I assume that the postman now turns around and starts to walk off. Are you doing anything?
I'll say good day, sir, and I'll shut the door.
Okay, and you shut the door. And the postman looks up, whistles a jaunty little tune, makes his way down the pathway, and suddenly a big, gigantic hound leaps around the corner of the estate, 2 giant bounds, lands on the postman, bites off his head. The blood spurts up from the head. The postman falls over. The hound turns back around to look at the manor house. Red eyes burning. This is like the hound from Ghostbusters, right?
Oh, nice.
Growls. And then playfully bounds off again into the fog. The camera sweeps back inside the manor house. And Blackwell turns to Buffalo and says, oh, did you hear something? Oh, must have been nothing. Let's see what we have here. And he pulls this out and he goes, look at it, Belvedere. Look at it. It is a black robe with a hood.
It's exquisite, sir.
Isn't it?
Yes.
I've been waiting all week for it. And he puts it on. And he puts over the big hood. He says, now then, and Belvedere, I'm counting on you because I don't think I can trust that new valet of mine. I need you to find me some lamb's blood. If you don't mind, even if you have to pop down to the village, but I need it as soon as possible.
Right away, sir. I'll see what I can do. Maybe I'll go talk to the chauffeur and see if we can go into town.
All right, I'll be in the library.
Very good, sir. Thank you.
Okay, what are the rest of you doing?
If I'm still in the kitchen, then I'm helping the cook take inventory and trying to work up a plan for this dinner for tonight.
There is enough stuff to make a nice cake. There's also plenty of food, and you find in the icebox some lamb.
Well, it's clearly rotten.
It is
I
not
don't
rotten.
know what you're talking about. Are you drunk? What?
At this point, our housekeeper can make a confirmed suspicions roll.
Okay. Confirm suspicions is persuasion.
Well,
That's going to be an 8.
An 8. You think you might know something about the cook? Like maybe she doesn't know how to make dinner?
Daisy, it was Tilda. I asked her to check, and she told me there was nothing.
You're the cook. You should look through everything and know what's in your kitchen.
However,
I understand it's the first day. We're all getting used to everything. But if you need any help getting dinner prepared this evening, just let me know, and we'll see where we can get someone in here to lend you a hand. All right?
Absolutely.
Now, at this point, can I come into the kitchen?
Sure.
All right, I'm going to come into the kitchen. I'm going to say, is that lamb?
It is. It seems that we actually have everything we'll need for dinner this evening. We should not be needing anything from the village.
Splendid, splendid. How raw is it?
Well, it's raw. It's in the icebox.
The master asked for some lamb's blood. Shall we take that out of the icebox and see if we can procure some lamb's blood from that?
Sure?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me just get a cup for that.
Thank you.
Might I suggest putting it on the stove for a bit and maybe thaw it out faster?
Can I come into the kitchen at this point?
Yes.
Oh, is that lamb?
It is.
Colonel Balthazar requested some rare meat. You don't mind before you put that on the stove to send it up the dumbwaiter, do you?
We should maybe cut a piece of it off and set up so that we have some and some can go to him.
I'm assuming there's enough to go around for all our...
Yes.
Okay. All right, well...
Is this frozen? I mean, how hard is it going to be hard to cut this piece?
It's cool. It's not frozen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's in the icebox.
That's only keep things kind of cold.
Right, yeah, it's kind of like
Well, I'll put some blood in a cup and give it to the butler, and then put a small portion of the lamb chop on the plate and tell the maid to take it up.
Excellent.
Now, it's cool, but, like, I don't know, cook, perhaps if we could warm it up a bit, would you mind?
Mr. Belvedere,
yes.
you have a bit to take care of. Can I take this blood to Lord Blackwood?
He did ask me to do it.
Well, of course. but there's so much more for you to do.
I suppose.
Well, I will be glad to bring it to him.
Thank you.
At this, the servant's door opens up into the kitchen, and inside from the outside comes in Abstinence Lycurgus. And she looks around the room and says, "Oh, there you are." And she looks straight at the chauffeur. "My sister wishes you to bring the car around."
Righto. We'll be out front.
And as you pass her and exit the door, she goes, "We'll talk later."
Lovely.
Do be sure to tell her that her hair looks lovely.
You get out to the garage, and you step into the Duesenberg and make it everything in its place roll.
Etiquette.
12.
Oh my!
Nice with you.
You jump in the car. You look straight at the steering wheel, and there is a pair of panties on the steering wheel.
McGugan. Oh,
Nice.
yeah.
Good thing you noticed that. That would have been really awkward if you hadn't.
The Colonel.
They're the colonels.
I assume that there is like a waste oil can somewhere in the garage.
Yes.
Yeah, I promptly deposit them in the waste oil can.
Okay. And you drive the car around to the front, yes?
Yes.
All right. Are you staying in the car, or are you going inside the house?
I will stand next to the hood of the car.
Okay.
Ready
As
to
you
open the
stand
door.
there, you notice something strange in the path ahead of you to the front doors. There's something laying on the path there.
How far away?
Oh, good 40 feet, 50 feet.
And this is between the car and the house?
Yes.
I go investigate.
You find there the headless body of one postal worker. And as you're looking it over, you hear a truck, a lorry coming down the long and winding road to the manor house front.
Can I see the truck?
You can see it, but they're a good distance off.
Is there brush along the side of the road I might be able to
No,
move this body into?
This is all immaculately perfected by their gardener, who is the only staff member that has stayed on for years, which is really odd in and of itself. But you do notice that your Duesenberg is a big car.
I was going to ask, what's the ground clearance in the car?
There's a big engine and a big trunk.
Fine, just go for it.
Body's going in the trunk.
The chauffeur's going in the
Car
trunk.
up to the body and goes to the trunk.
You pop the trunk and you're cramming in the body, and I mean the lorry truck is getting closer and closer and closer. Make a serve the house roll.
Serve the house.
Serve house is fortitude.
Oh boy, that's not gonna be good.
That's in 6.
Oh, it's a 6.
Yeah.
Huzzah! 11.
And the truck pulls up just as you firmly close the lid of the trunk. And the couple workers get off of the truck. Yes, we're here to deliver a painting for the Blackwood estate. Yes. Where would you like it?
Doors that way.
All
I
right.
point to the front.
And both of the workers get this huge, humongous painting out of the back of the truck and make their way up to the front. Curiously, they look at something on the ground that looks red and icky, and they avoid it and move on to the front door. Let's go with our, let's see, where are we at? What is our cook doing?
I I want to use one of my things.
Sure.
I brought you your favorite. I want to give something to the cook. Or not the cook, the housekeeper.
Oh.
I
So,
want to give
you make you what are you what are you bringing?
Wait, what?
So you're just going to find something, I assume, pre-made?
Yeah, I'm gonna find like a candy cane strip or something. I don't know. How about a cup of tea? I'm gonna bring her a cup of tea.
Excellent. And where's the housekeeper right now?
She's with me.
I was
Yeah.
in the kitchen.
We're
Trying to
making-
help her get ready.
She turns to you and gives you a cup of tea.
And I got an 8.
And it's adequate tea. In fact, it's your favorite blend, maybe not the best you've ever had.
Hmm.
And when I hand it to her, I notice. Do I notice anything?
You noticed what I put in the little message.
Okay, I want to ask her about her ring.
Oh, this old thing. Oh, it's just gone down through my family. It's just costume jewelry.
But it's so lovely.
I know, it's a very lovely design, but I'm afraid it's not really worth anything. Just pot metal and shiny stone.
Make a confirm your suspicions roll.
I got a 12.
Nice.
It is definitely not junk jewelry. It is worth a lot of money, more money than the housekeeper would make in 3 or 4 years of working.
I've never seen any costume jewelry quite like that. It looks almost like one of Lady Daffodil's beautiful jewels.
Are you trying to insinuate something? I think you had best work on tonight's dinner. Because if we have a repeat of the lunch salad incident, I'm not sure how much longer you're going to stay here.
Is that a threat?
At this point, Cook, make an innuendo roll.
What does special mean?
Don't add anything to it right now. Just tell me what you got.
6.
6?
Yeah.
Yes.
Could I have a question, Bryce?
Sure.
When I brought your favor, since I get to pick one, what does it mean for add +1 forward with that player for the rest of that day?
You get an extra die. You're rolling with something. It's +1 or rolling with something extra. Which is it?
+1 forward.
Okay, so you'll get a +1 to your total roll when dealing with the housekeeper, whenever you make rolls.
Okay. Can I just gain 1 prestige instead?
Yes. Although with your roll that you got on your innuendo, the housekeeper knocks you down a peg with her telling you that you should really just do your job. And in fact, you lose a prestige as a result of that.
Okay. So I'd just be even. I wouldn't have lost anything.
Yeah.
Really?
And now you really don't like the housekeeper.
Well, Daisy, I suggest that perhaps you should go find something else to do, not in the kitchen.
The door to the
I'm
kitchen.
sure I can find plenty of things to do elsewhere in the house. Do let me know if you need help with anything, though.
I'd be sure to ask.
The door swings open in the kitchen, and in walks that little kid that was trying to shoot the Lycurgus child. And he goes, "Hey, wait a minute. Is there going to be cake?"
Oh, later for the party. Who are you? What are you doing in the kitchen, child?
Angus Bitterwit. Can I have cake?
But if you come to the party later, no, put that down. You have to come to the party later and be nice to Miss Matilda.
Where are we meeting? Where are we having cake?
Perhaps this
The
would
party
be
is
a good time
go
for
this evening
Where?
in the gazebo this evening.
There's 2 gazebos out there. Which one is it?
Oh, that's a great question. I will go find out which gazebo Miss Matilda would like her party in.
All right. I'll wait in the plant room.
All right.
I know where it is.
Okay.
And he towels off to the conservatory.
Strange children wandering around this house. All right, I'm going to go look for Matilda.
There's a knock on the door, and this time the maid is closest.
I will answer the door.
You open the door and you find 2 workmen, and they have a large painting that's wrapped up that they're bringing in. We have a painting here for Lord Blackwood.
What is the condition of their shoes?
Extremely dirty.
No. Bring it around to the servants' entrance, please. You're going to track mud through the porch of the hall. We can't have that.
But he said we could come in this way.
Who said?
That guy out there by the car.
Listen. You can set the portrait here. You can, and I will send someone around to come take the picture. Do you know where it's supposed to be installed?
What am I, Lord of the Manor?
Well, I will find someone who knows. Does anyone need to sign for this?
Yeah, someone does need to sign for it.
One moment, and I'm going to close the door, and I'm going to go find the butler.
You go to find the butler. Lady Daffodil passes you in the hall, and she says, my dear, I would appreciate it if you get them to install that painting, please.
I will. I just can't have them. Their shoes are in an awful, dreadful condition. You don't want them tracking mud throughout your beautiful halls.
Make a guide the direction roll.
Okay. That is persuasion. Okay. I got 8.
An 8. Oh yes. I think you're right. Good idea. I have a request for you. Could you tell the gardener outside to come see me?
Yes, madam. Where should he meet you?
In the hall is fine.
Yes, madam. Right away, as soon as I get someone to install this painting.
Thank you very much. All right, let's see here. What is our valet doing?
I am bringing the cup of blood to Lord Blackwood.
You walk into the library, and is that what I think it is?
Yes, your lordship. I've worked
Jolly
hard
good show.
to procure some blood for you.
Jolly good show. Let me see that. And he starts dabbing his fingers in it and running it along the chalk lines in that big circle he's made in the library. Did you happen to find out what those words were?
Well, sir, I did be able to find it. Unfortunately, it's not a phrase I'm familiar with. I recite what they were.
Yes, that's it. Those are the words I need. I'm almost finished. Good work.
The credit is all due to you, sir. It's your direction that allowed this.
Oh, well, that's yes, of course. But anyway, good job. Now, if you don't mind, I don't want to be disturbed.
Well, sir, I will leave you to your work, but I will like to tell you also that we did manage to get some lamb for the kitchen, so it looks like it is on the menu after all.
Thank goodness. I didn't want any salad.
Well, salad is more for promissory note that food is coming, sir.
I agree. What is our cook doing?
I'm looking around the kitchen.
Okay.
Wait, who's all in the kitchen with me still?
I think just maybe the housekeeper, unless she just spurned you.
I left.
Okay.
I left.
Okay.
So I went to find Matilda.
Okay.
What's that outrageous accent?
I guess, I might try to go to town.
Okay. You want to go down to the village?
Yes.
All right. Make a go out on the grounds roll.
I got a 9.
All right. So what are you doing down in the village?
I'm looking for a market, a street stand.
Sure, you find one.
I don't really know what's in England at that point. Sorry. I'm gonna look for some pre-made lamb.
There's a butcher's shop. And the butcher there says, "Yes, ma'am. How can I help you?"
I'm wondering if you have any lamb.
Oh, we got lots of lamb. We got lamb here and lamb there and lamb up there. How much lamb do you need?
Enough to feed 20 people.
Oh, my. All right. And it takes a little bit of time, but you're laden down with baskets of lamb as you make your way back into the grounds. And as this is going to take you a while, but as you get up to the door on your return trip, you fall and you slip in mud. And your whole entire outfit is now covered in mud. Lady Daffodil exits and walks to the chauffeur and says, I'll be with you in a moment. And then she takes a couple steps back into the house, I assume to talk to the gardener, and she says, he's here. He's here. And she gracefully and ladylike, but quickly, makes her way inside the house. And now we go to our maid.
Yes. Sorry,
What
I
are
had to
you
unmute
doing?
myself. I'm finding the butler so we can install this painting.
Ah, so you have a brief conversation?
Yes. Mr. Belvedere,
Yes.
there are 2 men with dreadful shoes they're liable to track mud throughout the whole house who have a portrait that needs to be installed. Could you possibly procure a few strong men to hoist this up somewhere on the walls?
Sure. Let me see if I can find Rushforth to give me a hand.
Lady
right.
Blackwell seemed to believe it was quite urgent.
Sure. So I'm going to go to the library because I know that that's where Rushforth was last.
And you see Rushforth exiting.
Rushforth, would you mind giving me a hand? We have to install this painting that just arrived.
Absolutely, sure. So, Lord Blackwood wishes not to be disturbed for a few minutes, so any idea how to find out where it's supposed to go?
I'm assuming that what's the maid's name again?
Abigail Hooper.
Abigail Hooper. There we go. I'm assuming Abigail must know. Let's go ask Miss Hooper.
Certainly, sir. Right away.
All right, the three of you, or the 2 of you, know that she went outside to presumably find the gardener at this point.
Oh,
And
great.
so now you are outside around the manor house. And we shift to the housekeeper who is trying to find Matilda, correct?
Yes.
You think that she might be in the conservatory.
Okay, well, then I'll go to the conservatory and see if I can find her there.
All right. When you walk into the conservatory, you see Matilda squealing with glee, and you look across from where her chair is to where Angus Bitterwit is sitting, and a large, monstrous-sized spider is perched on the wingback chair of Angus Bitterwit, and his entire mouth is over Angus's head. And all the eyes of this spider are looking at you, and it kind of goes, looks at you and then goes, and just releases enough that it kind of knows it's in trouble, and Angus's head comes back out of the mouth, and Angus is just sitting there like this.
I'm gonna shoo the giant spider away.
You need to make an ignore the strange roll.
Okay. Oh, it's a dog-sized spider. It's fine. This is normal. Except for the part where it's really not. I rolled a 7.
Let's see. Yeah, this is really odd, but you were, and it's unsettling and it's distracting, but you are certainly sure you found Mr. Widow.
No.
And now it's got 2 of its legs on the back of the wingback chair. Angus, by the way, is still completely paralyzed, and it's rubbing its 2 front legs together.
That's quite enough. Leave the boy alone. Move along.
And it backs down the chair, goes to the middle of the conservatory, and just sits.
That's much better. Thank you.
We were having fun, though. Angus doesn't like Mr. Widow.
No, that's not a nice way to play, Miss Matilda.
I think it's a fun way to play, and Angus is always making fun of me.
That's not very nice of him either, but we still shouldn't have our friends be eaten by our other friends.
Oh, come on. He's hungry. He just wants a little nibble.
I'm sure we can find something for Mr. Widow to eat later. I had a question for you.
He likes lamb.
Oh, it seems to be a favorite around here. I'm sure we can get some from the kitchen.
Can we go to the dining room and feed Mr. Widow?
I think I'll bring something here for him. How does that sound?
At this, Mr. Widow looks up at you in this monstrous creature. Somehow has this very cute look like he's about to get fed. And he just kind of scurries across the floor into an empty wingback chair, climbs into it, fills it because he's monstrous, and then he just sits there like a puppy.
All right, I'll be back in just a minute with some lamb for Mr. Widow. Matilda, dear, I had a question for you, though, before I leave.
Yes?
There are 2 gazebos. Which one is the one you wanted to have your party in this evening?
The old gazebo. That's where the band disappeared.
The old one?
Yes.
How will I know which one is the old one and which one is the new one? You have to remember I'm new here. I haven't learned all of these yet.
Oh, you'll know, I promise.
Right. Thank you. I'll be back with a snack shortly.
And as you look over the chair, Angus has all this spider saliva all over his face, and he's still...
Is he breathing? Like, does he seem like he's okay-ish?
Are you going to check on him?
I'll go over and make sure he's still alive.
He appears to be paralyzed with some sort of venom.
Hopefully that's temporary. I'll deal with this later. Go back to the kitchen and get the giant spider a snack.
Meanwhile, the 3 of you that are outside turn the corner, and you see a very weird sight. The window, the 2-story window that is clearly Lady Daffodil's room, the window is open, but down at the bottom, the shrubs have all been cut out. So there's this long line of shrubs, and then right where her room is, there's this big gap now where all the shrubs have been cut out. And laying there on the ground, face down, is this guy who had a pair of giant scissors in his hands.
So we should...
You should check on him.
Yeah, we should.
No. Then I will stand right here.
So I think me and I think Rushforth and I should go check on this person that has the clippers.
Rushforth, are you doing it?
Why, yes.
All right.
Not very good for someone to be laying down when there's work to be done.
You flip over the body, and it's definitely this lifeless, white-looking guy, and he has 2 giant puncture marks in his neck.
Hmm.
And you hear some sort of commotion coming from Lady Daffodil's room.
I'll look up at the window. Is there anything going on up there?
It's hard to see, but there's definitely a conversation that's happening there.
Can I strain to listen?
Yes. And all you hear are moaning sounds.
Oh! Dear. Quite improper. You don't believe that would be the gardener, do you?
The person on the ground?
Yes, with the shears.
I'm guessing that's highly likely.
Is he alive?
Can we check on? You said he's pale, right?
Yeah, he's definitely dead.
He's dead.
And the cook at this point notices that there's the bell system in the house that tells you when you're being called to different rooms, and it's in the kitchen. And the cook, you hear the bell coming from the colonel's room, and he is definitely wanting some sort of assistance. What are you going to do, cook?
Go up to him.
Okay.
Wait, am I still outside?
Yeah, you're back now, and you
Oh.
haven't. You've just entered the kitchen, but your uniform is all muddied.
Oh, well, I'm going to clean up my uniform a little bit.
Okay. You can find a spare in your room, and you can head to the colonel's room. And let's see. Does anyone want to go up to see what the commotion is in Lady Daffodil's room?
I have an idea about what that might be. I think that perhaps we should not bother the lovers and make sure no one goes up that way. We wouldn't want a scandal.
The rest of you are perplexed by the whole thing that she says, lover. Who's in the house?
Lover. Lord Blackwell. Obviously.
At this point, you hear a loud noise coming from the library.
Let me go check on Lord Blackwell.
Oh, allow me. I'll go.
And as she leaves, you guys hear the sound of furniture being moved in Lady Daffodil's room.
We should probably go check on the lady of the house.
Okay.
Let's not look through the window. Let's just go around.
Yes.
So we're going to end tonight on a couple of vignettes. I will explain what's happening to you, and then I'll go through each one and then come back to see what you're going to do as your final action or final words. All right? So the first thing that happens is the housekeeper gets the lamb, comes back into the conservatory, and now you find once again Angus Bitterwit's mouth inside the spider, or head inside the spider's mouth. All right, that's what happens to you. The cook, you get up to the colonel's room, you open the door, and you see on the other side a gigantic wolf man who's howling. The butler and the valet get up to the Lady Daffodil's room, and you open the door and you find a naked Lady Daffodil with this monstrous Nosferatu about to bite her neck. And our maid opens up the door to the library to see this pulsing green energy that has opened a portal in the floor, and giant tentacles come out of the floor.
Oh.
And meanwhile, our chauffeur didn't quite see it, but our friend Abstinence Lycurgus has found a way inside the Duesenberg, and he turns around to see her, and she's laying on the front seat. And we all know how she is attired. So
Lovely.
we'll first go to the housekeeper. And what do you say or do? Spider.
I'm gonna call Mr. Widow over. Look, I brought lamb. Let the boy go. I've got you a nice snack right here.
And the spider scurries down. And then we turn to the cook who sees the giant wolf man. What are you doing?
Oh dear. I'm gonna close the door or try to.
You go, oh dear. And you hear the crash through a window as something leaps out of the second story and across the moors. Meanwhile, you two are upstairs in Lady Daffodil's room, and you see this Nosferatu that has the naked Lady Daffodil by the throat. What are you doing?
I smile. What's that?
You still be needing some lamb for dinner.
I'm gonna look over and I'm gonna be like, yeah.
The camera comes down the stairwell into the library. What's the maid doing?
Oh, is Lord Blackwell there?
Yes, and he goes, at last, at last.
And I'm going to go in there and say, oh, who put this nasty chalk on the floor, and rub it out with my foot? Because I'm assuming I saw when I was cleaning the books before.
Yes. And as you're rubbing out this chalk line, this big giant elder great one is just swarmed over you and is watching you try to remove the chalk line.
Great. Wonderful.
But you don't see that.
No.
And finally, we move to the most mundane of problems. What does our chauffeur do?
So I assume I see her now.
Yes.
I mutter to myself, I wonder if one more body will fit.
And there the camera goes dark and the credits roll. Bedlam Hall. And we end our adventure.
Oh man.
That was fun.
That was a blast.
Wait, do we get to know everybody's secrets?
Yeah, sure, share them.
Awesome.
We'll start with the valet.
Well, I never learned how to read. And I know that it's going to complicate things, so I need to make friends. And then when people make me really mad, odd and strange things start to happen.
So that's why he brought that phrase to the kitchen, because he couldn't read. Amanda.
All right, so that junk ring that I have actually was given to me by a gypsy woman and will allow me to change my face to be some other person at some point in the future. And also, I'm a kleptomaniac, but I didn't really get to do any thieving. I was too busy chasing this creepy girl and a giant spider around.
All right, the cook.
Oh, hold on. My secret was I didn't know how to cook.
No.
Oh.
And sorry, I had to pull it up. I was hired on fake recommendations. I need a job really bad, and that I've been working here for a couple of weeks before the others arrives, and the thing in the cellar has come to think of me as its mother.
Oh.
Nobody went to the cellar. In the past game I had, they were doing something and they go, let's all go down the cellar. And then I did a little flashback 2 weeks ago, and it was all these kids in the cellar going, hey, let's play hide and seek. And you just see this big giant plant looming over them, and then silence. All right, what was the Maids?
During the war, Lord Blackwell worked in London where he met me, and we proceeded to have a torrid love affair. When the war was over, he returned to the woman he married just days before arriving in London. I need a job. I was playing it like I didn't want Lord Blackwell back, and I didn't want to jeopardize my station. And I also, which this never came into play, I had a date with a young man in the village. I must have had too much to drink because I woke up with no memory of the night's events, pale color, light sensitivity issues, and one hell of a hickey.
And that was Lady Daffodil's friend.
Oh, I assumed.
The butler.
Oh, my secret was that I squandered money at a body tavern, and I love booze. So that's why I patted the young lad on his head when he gave me the recommendation of where the booze were. And I am also 175 years old, and I don't know how that happened.
Yes.
And our chauffeur.
I was the Yorkshire Ripper, but I got better.
Nice.
That's awesome.
And one of my victims didn't stay dead, so I'm super paranoid. Hence the one more body in the trunk.
In the last game, our chauffeur, who is also the Yorkshire Ripper that got better, was propositioned very heavily by abstinence Lycurgus, and she eventually gets him up into her room, and he finally decides, I'm gonna go back to being the Ripper, and he kills her.
That's great.
Oh man. Oh.
Well, I hope everybody had fun. It's a great one-shot. It's a great convention game. You can play it in campaign mode, but I sort of like the farcical ramp-up that a convention or one-shot provides.
Sure.
$25 RPG drive-thru. You can get the book and the PDF. It's wonderful. Monkeyfun does this game. They do Spirit of 77, which is you play characters from action movie tropes from the 1970s. But great fun stuff. The painting, by the way, if I can find it, we didn't actually get to what it was, but in the other group that I ran, we did. And it's this weird bird. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Maybe. I know it's somewhere here in the book. Well, not having any luck finding it. Oh, here it is. It's called the What's It.
What's it?
The What's It.
No, what's it?
And you just sort of use it in any way that you want to use it. It doesn't. The book doesn't say it has any powers or anything. It's sort of there to be the representation of the family line, Hound of the Baskerville-ish kind of thing. And in the group that I ran before, the workers were installing the painting when Mr. Widow got them both.
Oh, lovely. That's awesome.
All right, gang. Thanks for playing.
Very cool.
Yeah, when you said little legs coming out of the mirror, I imagine like little leprechaun legs. So that's what I imagined the whole time. It was like a little leprechaun dude.
Yeah, I didn't want to say spider legs because I didn't want to give it away, and there was no good way to indicate that. But yeah, sure. A leprechaun would have been fun too.
Absolutely. Now, Bryce, the designer of this game is David. How do you pronounce his last name? Kizzia?
Kizzia, I believe.
All right.
I'm not 100% on that.
Sure. That's fine. David's going to actually come on this channel, I think, next week at some point, and we're just going to have a little conversation with him, a little Q&A, to kind of wrap it up and let him know, get some more insight on this game. So if you're interested in Bedlam Hall, stay tuned because we're going to get a little more information from the designer. That's
awesome.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. All right, everybody, thank you for coming on, doing this, and taking time out of your evening to be a part of this channel. I really, really appreciate it. Yeah, but I know we all have busy lives, and so it's always fun to get together and play some games online.
Thank you. This
No
was
problem.
fun.
Thank
you. Absolutely.
Thanks, Bryce. Thanks for GMing.
Absolutely, yes. Thank you, Bryce. Thank you very, very much. All right, folks, that's going to do it for us tonight. My name is Doug. This has been Victory Condition Gaming, because winning shouldn't be the only victory condition when you get to the table. We'll see you in the next video. Bye now.